Hi guys, Mr. Bennett here. In today's video, we're going to be looking at rounding off decimal numbers or rounding off numbers in general. Now, something you need to know is when you're looking at a number, like if you've got something, let's say 3 point something, they're the decimal places you're going to go. Alright, so I'll just make it a bit thicker so you can see what I'm writing here. Okay, so if it's 3 point something, it could be 3.0, 3.1, 3.2, or could have a combination of those numbers. Now, the important thing here is when we start looking at this is if you count the number of decimal places here, we could split this into two lots. We've got there, we've got 5 numbers, and on this side, we have 5 numbers. Right? So if it basically is here, then it's going to stay at 3. Right? If it's going to be closer on this end, it's going to be closer to 4 than 3. So it's going to get rounded up to 4 if we're going to round up to the nearest whole number. Got that here? So anything that's 4 or less won't change the number. And when you're looking at 5 or more, means that the number gets sort of extended, I suppose. We're looking at that. All right, let's look at these examples here, and what it's asking you to do is to do the following things to the nearest decimal place here. All right, so if we're looking at this one here, 23.678, if I'm looking at 2 decimal places, then what I need to do is I need to highlight that's the one I'm looking at doing. So if I'm looking at the second decimal place, I have to look at the third number. Right, the third number. Now, if that number is below 4, it stays as a 7. If it's greater than 4, then it goes up to become a number which is greater than that. So if I was looking at that number there, then this one becomes equal to 23.68. Yes, it has to go up, doesn't it? Right, when we're looking at the next thing over here, we'd be looking at the decimal place. So we're looking at the second decimal place there. Right, so the next number after that is a 5. Now I think the rule is if it's greater than 5, it goes up. So we have to write that as 392.04. So the 3 goes up to an 04. So we've got 2 decimal places after the decimal place. Alright, so it's 1 decimal place. We highlight the first decimal place. It's the number that's after the 3, which just determines whether it stays the same or goes up. So because it's less than 5, it's going to stay as a 3. So now we can write this one has 4,560.3. Now this one here says 3 decimal places, so count 1, 2, 3. So that's the one I'm looking at changing or keeping the same. Because the next number is a 7, greater than 5, which means it's got to be rounded up. So that's 3.778. Right, so you don't always have to go to the decimal place. You can actually go to the nearest 10th, 100th, 1000th, millionth, whatever. So in this particular case, what's this particular number rounded off to the nearest tens? Right, so if I'm looking at the tens here, right, that's my units, so that's my tens, isn't it? So again, I'm looking at the next number, which is a 7. All right, so 7 means the 6 would either stay as a 6 or would go up to a 7. So if I was going to round up to the nearest, it's got to go up. So it's going to be 3,570. We'd be rounding that off to the nearest tens. All right, looking at this to the nearest thousands. So units, tens, and to the nearest thousands. Okay, so this is interesting. So that there is, in fact, a 9, and that goes up to become a 10. All right, so therefore, that means that this particular number is going to be 26,000. Will be the closest that gets to the nearest thousands. All right, so hopefully you get the idea about when you're rounding off, you're looking at the number after the number of decimal places that you actually want to get. And that will help you in deciding whether it stays the same number or it goes up. Keeping in mind, we've got it split 5 numbers on this side, 5 numbers on that side. So is it closer to 3 or is it closer to 4 or any number when we're doing that particular type of question? All right, have a go at some questions, see how you go with that.